my mantra, it used to be up on the top of my screen on the border of my laptop so I could look at it every day. And it is, nobody's going to do it for you. And for a lot of those unmotivated moments that I may have had and that other people might have, when you feel like you have nothing left in the tank, for me to look up and to read, nobody's going to do it for you, is something that would sometimes just inject a little bit of energy in me towards something that might be a goal of mine. I think of all the superpowers that grown-ups discovered that they had over the last couple of years, with all of us being confined to our houses and figuring out what's my own skill set, what can I apply to this type of a situation. I think everybody discovered that they had something, whether it's that you are a musician, or you already knew that, or you discovered that you're a baker or a writer, or you're great at building pillow forts with your kids, whatever it might be, that you have that and that you should invest in your own skill set. So I think for me, when I look at nobody's going to do it for you, those are the things that have made me who I am as a musician, as somebody who's a trusted member of the community, with lots of little kids in schools and in camps and whatnot. Somebody once looked at the quote and said, jokingly, they said, nobody's going to do it for you unless you pay them. And my response to that would be, if you're getting to a point where you're able to put money in somebody else's pocket to see through your vision, then you've done a good job. Then you're on your way. You've discovered what that thing is. But for me, that quote keeps me motivated. It keeps goals in mind for me. And it pushes me towards the next big thing that I can accomplish, which is something that I can't pawn off on somebody else or pay somebody else to do.
I love that. You know, and I'm fortunate enough to be your friend on Facebook, so I can see you as a dad and that you love it. But what do you love the most about being a dad?
That's a really hard question. There are so many great things, because I even get to a point where I say to myself, even if it's something unpleasant, like changing a diaper or cutting the food when your food is waiting there for you, I always think to myself, at some point I'm going to miss it. At some point I'm going to miss this age. Right now we have a 4-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy with 4-year-old problems and 7-year-old problems. And so at every moment along the way, I just try to find that spot of gratitude for where we are and everything that we have. I love seeing the wonder on their faces when they accomplish something, when they discover something. A lot of times parents will have the cameras on the thing that they're watching, but I'll point the camera on them to see their faces when they can fully absorb and can experience something fresh or for the first time. So I love doing things like that. I love being a kid with them. I like getting dirty with them. I like getting into the activity. And I know it always won't be these 4-year-old or 7-year-old activities. So I enjoy the whole experience of getting into it with those kids, whatever it might be.
Oh, I love that. So you've been a dad now 7 years. What is some of a big parenting lesson that you've learned?
Big parenting lesson that I've learned. I think early on, in the very early weeks and months, I learned that they're stronger than you think. I certainly remember from those tender first days how nervous I was. My arms just wouldn't move from this position, or else something terrible would happen. And I would say I can relax, enjoy those quiet days. But overall advice, I think, is to get involved. And it's so easy for us to find reasons to maybe escape into a screen or escape into our adult worries. Save that for another time. But when the kids are around and the kids are waiting for that experience, be the person to foster that experience and be there right along with them. These things are meant to be experienced. They're not meant to be sat out. And especially now that we can do all of these things finally, for so many of these months or years for me and our family, we couldn't do those things. So I know we left exiting the pandemic and doing other activities with this overwhelming sense of gratitude. So I find like that sense of gratitude follows me with whatever I'm doing with these kids.
Oh, that's such great advice. It really is. Well, one of the things to get out and do this summer is to come and hear you I am a fan.
Yeah.
So you have a busy summer ahead of you. Let's talk about your busy summer.
Yeah, I'm also grateful. So grateful that kids' music and kids' activities are back and in full swing. My band, Ben Tatar and the Tatar Tots, we have the busiest summer that we've had since before the pandemic, which is great. We've got about a dozen shows. Lots of them are Park District shows up in the north suburbs. Notably in my hometown, we'll be in Northbrook on July 25th. Northfield and Bloomingdale, Naperville, Deerfield, we're getting all around. So that's great. A lot of lunchtime jams for kids, families bringing out blankets and food, and it's a ton of fun and easygoing time. And hopefully for the kids and families, a great experience. I have done a couple library shows, some private parties and block parties, and also going to break ground on a third album, which might also transition into a book. So
Wow.
that's where the mantra comes back, of where I look at that quote and I say, nobody's going to do it for you. And I want to collaborate with other people who have those special superpowers. So got a couple projects at the beginning of the summer here. You see these 8-9 weeks in front of you. So I want to use them to the fullest that I can.